Okay, moving on to video and training number 3, where we address the shoulder turn. Now we're probably getting into the area where you're more familiar, the meat and potatoes, the sexy part of your golf swing, getting that shoulder turn, because you know your shoulder turn is going to affect the quality and quantity of your golf swing. Quality meaning swing playing angle, angle of attack. Quantity meaning your ability to generate club head speed and power. So there's a lot going on with shoulder turn. And again, the shoulder turn is governed by several factors, which, if you execute the drills, will address most all of them at a fundamental level. Now, understanding that everybody's structure is a little different. Everybody may have, some of you may have pre-existing injuries. Some of you may, everyone just behaves differently. So the other thing I want you to consider with these drills is that I've assessed, measured, instructed thousands of bodies and structures, and I've specifically chosen these drills for their universal effect and to help as many people, considering all of the different permutations that could come up. Obviously, there are exceptions, but if you execute the drills the way I've explained them, and here you'll be in the ballpark. And as you master these drills, I think intuitively it will lead you to the next drill that will be more specific for your individual needs. So there's a power in mastering what we're going over here. So a little bit of a side tangent. So with the shoulder turn, I want you to keep in mind a couple of overarching concepts. One of them first is your rib cage. All right. Your rib cage is heavily involved in your shoulder turn. The rib cage is like the spring. If you look at the ribs, they actually look like springs. So when you add that rotation and all of the muscles that attach to the rib on that backswing, it's almost like that rib is generating and storing kinetic energy to then be released back into the club and therefore the golf ball. So the ability of the rib cage to be responsive to the swing is important. So even the stretches that are in the head also affect the ribs, particularly the levator scapulae stretch. So again, the ribs are essentially the accelerator, but the steering wheel of the shoulder turn is the thoracic spine, which essentially connects to the rib cage and the T-spine. So in terms of that, your ability to extend that T-spine, I know that a lot of my Monster Golf Swing clients are older, and as we get older, we get those orthopedic changes in the spine especially. So the more mobility, or as much mobility that you can improve or recapture, is going to pay huge dividends, especially if you are older and are originally stuck and injured. So this is the purpose of the drills that you're seeing here. So they're affecting the rib cage and the T-spine, because that's going to be your steering wheel and your accelerator. And your shoulder turn and your ability to get your arms back. So for every degree that your spine cannot contribute to the shoulder turn, your body has to compensate by trying to muscle your club back with your arms. And that's where you end up getting the shoulder injuries, the elbow injuries, and the wrist injuries when you have that huge compensation pattern. So again, the primary focus of all of these drills is to reduce all of those compensation patterns so you have a clearer path to making a clean shoulder turn. So here we are. So with the trunk side bend drill, It's a shoulder turn, and the reason why it contributes to the shoulder turn is because the side bend itself stretches a muscle that connects to the rib cage, which I've explained the importance of already. So the side bend is going to help release and free up your rib cage from the bottom and to secondarily up the sides. So remember, your rib cage has muscles that attach to it from up and also beneath it, and some other places that we won't get into before I turn this into a full-on anatomy lesson. But just know that this particular drill is going to help with that. Now, the thoracic mobilization, this one is huge. This one's almost like the bread and butter, especially if for older golfers where you're suffering those orthopedic changes and things like that. This thoracic mobilization drill that's done with the towel, I've literally seen this one drill transform bodies of 70-year-old players, and it literally changes the swing. It takes, I think it takes, it adds, another 5 years to your golf game and to your life ultimately. And I'll explain why that is in a second. But when you can regain that mobility in that T-spine, it's going to free up everything else in your swing. That ability to get that T-spine moving is one of the big dominoes, because when you're in a dress posture, if your shoulders are slunching over and you can't assume a nice, beautiful alignment at a dress, that means everything has to compensate above and below those hunched shoulders. So that is why this drill is huge. And again, the specific instructions on how to fold your towel and roll it up and all of that is in the instructional videos. Go ahead and review it. If you do not have access to your logins, or you've lost it and need to recover your password, there should be a way to retrieve those on the page that you're watching this on. And if you need to email me to retrieve them, go ahead and do that, and I'll personally resend you your login. So go watch these videos, because it's going to help give you the nuances on this. But I'm just showing you the premise behind it, so you can understand why these drills are here, why you're doing them, and why it's going to work, and help you start kicking your golf buddy's butt in the next 2 to 4 weeks. So there's your thoracic mobilization. Very, 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 very important. And then the kneeling back twist. Now, the reason why this drill is positioned here is that now that you have that new mobility in your T-spine, the kneeling back twist is going to now solidify those new mobility gains. That's the first objective of the kneeling back twist. And now it also, at a fundamental level, gives you a little bit of strength and additional mobility at the top of your backswing. It retunes all of those extensor muscles. There's a lot of little subtle benefits that I can get into, but that's why this drill is immediately after the thoracic mobilization. So there's a method to the madness, right? Now, after you've solidified the mobility from your T-spine, then you add in the shoulder twist, which is this drill here, to integrate that shoulder twist with the rest of the body. Okay, so that's why that drill is positioned at that particular point in the sequence. So there is your shoulder turn drills for the Triple Threat Golf Swing program. Rewatch the video, understand the purpose of the drills, execute. Again, touch it, just touch it. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but look at it, touch it, come back to it the next day. All right. Obviously, you see on this page, the next section that we'll be going over is swing plane. So look out for that video, and we will see you there.